Welcome back to the cryptowrld channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now, while Bitcoin is once again bouncing from this crucial level of support in the short term, this is now helping to form and get close to completing a new price pattern in the shorter term that we need to pay attention to, as this is potentially setting up a massive new price target, which I'll talk about in just a moment, alongside Ethereum also forming a new price pattern that we need to pay attention to. I'll also talk about this in just a moment, while Solana is now getting ready for another retest of this crucial area of resistance. So I'll be talking about all of that and more later in the video, so definitely watch to the end. First of all, just before taking a look at the Bitcoin and crypto charts today, taking a real quick look at the US stock market. I'm recording this right before the stock market's about to open, and currently, as I'm recording this video, the US stock market, the S&P 500 index here on the 1 hour time frame, is still sitting right around all-time highs. So obviously, like I've talked about recently here on the channel, as the stock market pushes into new all-time highs and continues this bullish trend, that is some good news for Bitcoin and crypto in the short term. So with that being said, taking a look at the Bitcoin charts today, on the weekly time frame, the charts have not really changed all that much over the last one day. So the super trend indicator still sitting in the red, and of course we still technically have a larger bearish divergence on the weekly Bitcoin price chart. But on the 3-day Bitcoin price chart, we still have this smaller bullish divergence, a shorter term bullish divergence, which is also still currently active, which means continue to expect either a slight bullish relief or maybe some choppy sideways price action as the most common outcomes from a bullish divergence. And so considering we still have a decent amount of room towards the upside in the 3-day Bitcoin RSI here, and considering it's still currently active, at least for now and in the coming days or possibly coming weeks, I continue to expect this to play out moving forward. And if we're taking a look at the daily Bitcoin price chart, right now, as of recording this video, the price is once again just about to and already starting to retest this area of resistance here, sitting in between around 92,000 to 94,000. And so obviously, as I've been saying for a long time now on the channel, expect a lot of resistance, which means expect the price to struggle or likely reject from this area right here on the price chart, 92 to 94,000. But if we actually see a confirmed breakout beyond 94,000, that would be a big deal for Bitcoin for a couple of reasons. First of all, we would finally be leaving this sideways price range, which over the last 1 to 2 months now, we've been in this same sideways price range, bouncing between this support and this resistance. Of course, this support still sitting at around 85 to 86,000 and the resistance at 92 to 94,000. And we came close to possibly confirming breakouts in the past over the last 1 month or so, but we never actually confirmed a daily candle close above 94,000 and holding above that level. But as I was saying earlier, not only would it be a big deal for Bitcoin if we confirm a breakout above 94,000 due to the fact that we'll be leaving this sideways price range, of course, it would also be a big deal because of how significant this resistance is. Of course, it's been holding the price down for 1 to 2 months now, multiple major rejections from that exact area. So obviously that alone would be a big deal for Bitcoin if we break out above 94,000. But on top of all of that, we also have a new inverse head and shoulders pattern, which I briefly discussed in my last video, but we can see here on the daily Bitcoin price chart, there's a clear inverse head and shoulders pattern forming right now, with a left shoulder, a head, and right now the right shoulder currently forming, but not yet complete. And in case you're new to all of this, this is a very bullish price pattern that would set up a massive bullish price target for the price of Bitcoin if we first complete the formation phase, so complete this right shoulder here, and then confirm a breakout above the neckline. So I want to make that clear, not yet confirmed, not yet in place, still possibly forming, so something to pay attention to, but at least for now, nothing to act on, not financial advice. But if we continue a further bullish relief like this, up towards this resistance at around 94,000, and then if we confirm a daily candle close above 94,000 and actually hold above that level, in that situation, that will set up a massive new price target. And in case you're wondering what that technical price target would be, taking a look at that measured move, that would be sitting at roughly around 103,000. In fact, in between 103,000 to 104,000. And so, for example, if we're taking some sort of trade or buying some Bitcoin after we confirm the breakout here, from the point of the breakout to that price target, that's almost a 10% move, around a 9 to 10% move towards the upside, and that's with no leverage. So let's just say if we're trading a 10% move towards the upside with a 10x leverage long position as an example, not financial advice, but in that example, that would be a 100% 50% profit. So obviously a potential trading opportunity on the table here waiting to happen. But as always, I want to make it clear this price target and this possible price pattern are not yet confirmed. They're not yet in play. We need to first confirm a breakout above that 94k level. That is the crucial level to pay attention to when it comes to resistance and starting to flip more bullish if we break that level. And of course, as always, if we confirm a breakout and then confirm candle closes back below that point of resistance, then in that situation, that would invalidate the breakout towards the upside and invalidate this technical price target. And it's also worth mentioning that even if we confirm the breakout above 94,000 and start playing out this bullish price target, of course, would likely find some resistance along the way before hitting this price target. For example, at pretty much exactly 100,000, we could likely find some resistance around there at 100k due to the fact that we have this previous 50% retracement level based on strong previous support back here, which will likely now act as new resistance at around 100,000. And if we're zooming further into the short term, taking a look at the 6-hour Bitcoin price chart, it's clear that in the short term, we have a lot of support at this level right here, which is sitting at pretty much exactly 90,000. So still at give or take 90,000, expect a lot of support in the short term there, as I've been talking about since before we actually started hitting that level and finding support at that level. And obviously with the US stock market continuing to push into all-time highs, if this continues moving forward over the coming days, then that can really help Bitcoin with a little bit more of a short-term bullish relief, a bounce from this support in the short term. As I always say, Bitcoin and stocks are highly correlated, not perfectly correlated, but usually if stocks continue an all-time high breakout, that usually helps Bitcoin in the short term, as we're already starting to see over the last couple of days here. And so all we need to see is for this to continue a little more up towards 94,000 to complete the inverse head and shoulders pattern. And then, of course, we need to confirm the breakout above 94,000 and hold it above that level to really start finally flipping more bullish again. For now, until we see that confirm, we're still in this same sideways price range. And so obviously, this is the time in the market to be set up, ready to go on a crypto exchange to take advantage of that next potential trading opportunity. Not financial advice, but if you use the first link below this video in the description and in the pinned comment, that first link below the video will take you to this sign up page over on 2bit right here, where you can take advantage of major bonuses, over 18,000 USDT in bonuses that you can claim simply using that link by depositing, making an account, etc., using the link below the video to 2bit. So especially if you're going to be trading crypto anyway, you might as well check this out, take advantage of this using that first link below this video. And in case you're wondering, 2bit is also a no KYC exchange. But if you want another exchange out there to also claim some extra bonuses on, an exchange that I also use myself, then in that situation, check out the second link below the video in the description and in the pinned comment as another option out there, because that second link will take you to this page right here over on the Pinex crypto exchange, where you could also take advantage of major bonuses. For example, if you simply make an account, complete KYC using the link below the video to Pinex, you get a 50 USDT bonus onto your Pinex account. And on top of that, there's deposit bonuses. If you deposit as little as 100 USDT, you get a 100 USDT bonus on your account. If you deposit 10,000, you get a 1,000 USDT bonus onto your Pinex account. So obviously massive, essentially free money here that you can claim using the link below the video to Pinex just by depositing or completing KYC over on Pinex using that link. So once again, if you're going to be trading crypto anyway, you might as well check it out, take advantage of this using the links below this video to those exchanges. But with that being said, taking a quick look at the Bitcoin liquidation heat map, and right now we still have liquidity building towards the downside at roughly around 89.1k. So keep that in mind. That's still a level to watch out for on the price target. If, for example, we fail a breakout here at 94,000, let's just say if we come back for a retest, which right now we're pretty much testing this area in between 92 to 94,000, and let's just say if we fail the breakout attempt here, see another rejection like what we saw last time, it's possible that at some stage we could come back down to wipe out this liquidity at around 89.1k. So keep that in mind. While we're still underneath 94,000, that's still a possible risk that we need to consider. Obviously not a guarantee, but something to watch out for. But as I said in my last video, if we confirm the breakout above 94,000 and start heading towards this bullish price target here for this inverse head and shoulders pattern, in that situation, I wouldn't really worry about this downside liquidity anymore because of how significant a breakout would be if we confirm a breakout above that 94k level. But with that being said, taking a quick look at the Bitcoin dominance chart on the daily time frame, and right now the Bitcoin dominance is still basically range bound, just kind of bouncing around in a bit of a sideways price range. In terms of the price structure here, still looking very neutral. So overall, don't expect a massive altcoin season, but also don't really expect a massive Bitcoin season either. Basically expect a lot of the major altcoins out there on average to perform very similar to whatever Bitcoin is doing, which means keep an eye on what Bitcoin is doing. Even if you're just an altcoin holder or an altcoin trader, still keep an eye on what Bitcoin is doing, because if, for example, Bitcoin confirms this breakout or sees another rejection, whatever Bitcoin does here, we'll likely see something very similar for a lot of the major altcoins out there, a lot of the altcoin market. So with that being said, taking a look at Ethereum on the daily time frame, and right now the price of ETH is still holding above this crucial level of support here at around $3,050, but really in between 3,000 to 3.1k. That's the area of support to pay attention to. And so obviously not a lot has changed over the last one day for Ethereum on this price chart, but if we're staying on the daily time frame, zooming into this area on the price chart, we can see a new price pattern currently forming, but not yet confirmed, not yet in play. And this, in case you're wondering, is known as a symmetrical triangle pattern, also known as a horizontal triangle pattern, with a descending line of resistance and an ascending line of support. And in case you're wondering, this line of support is currently sitting at just above 2.9k, close to 2.9k, and this line of resistance is sitting at just underneath 3.3k, so closer towards around 3260 to 3270. And if we're taking a look at the technical price targets for this price pattern, if we actually confirm a breakout above that line of resistance, ideally confirming a breakout above around 3.3k with at least a daily candle close above that level and holding above that level, in that situation, that will set up a new bullish price target at pretty much exactly 4.2k. So from the point of the breakout to that price target, we're talking about a possible 28% move towards the upside, and that's with no leverage. So obviously a massive possible trading opportunity waiting to happen here, but not yet confirmed. I want to make that clear, not confirmed, not in play. We need to first confirm a breakout, ideally above 3.3k, and obviously between the breakout and that price target, even if we first confirm the breakout, would likely find resistance along the way. It won't be a straight line towards this price target. That'll be very unlikely. So first of all, would also likely find a lot of resistance at around 3.6k to 3.7k if we first confirm the breakout above around 3.3k. But what if the price of ETH keeps rejecting from this descending line of resistance, and instead we actually break towards the downside below this ascending line of support, so below around 2.9k? Well, in that situation, looking at the bearish price target, if we fail the breakout towards the upside and instead confirm a break below the line of support, in that situation, that will set up a technical price target towards the downside at just under 2.3k. So from the point of the breakdown to that price target, about a 21 to 20% move towards the downside, or almost 22% move towards the downside. And so in other words, we're basically in a tightening range at the moment, looking relatively neutral in the shorter term, but this is the calm before the storm. We're just waiting to see one of these confirmation signals to actually confirm, and then we can start deciding the direction and the next price target for Ethereum. And ideally, I'd like to see Ethereum basically go in the same direction as what Bitcoin is doing. For example, if the price of ETH starts obviously heading towards this line of support, it looks like it might have a break towards the downside. But then if Bitcoin has a huge breakout above 94,000, it's unlikely we'll see a significant bearish move if Bitcoin's breaking out, and vice versa. If Bitcoin fails to break out, sees a major rejection like this, and then let's just say if Ethereum starts maybe breaking out above this resistance, it's unlikely we'll see a significant bullish move for Ethereum towards that bullish price target if Bitcoin fails this breakout. So keep in mind, definitely pay attention to what Bitcoin is doing to figure out what is likely going to happen for a lot of these altcoins. And if we're zooming further into the short term, taking a look at the 3-hour Ethereum price chart, it's very much clear that in the immediate short term, we're looking slightly more bullish than bearish, especially thanks to Bitcoin and stocks having some short-term bullish moves. But overall, at least right now, Ethereum is clearly lacking bullish momentum. So we're once again looking slightly bullish, but seeing a lot of choppy sideways price action, and this will likely continue at least over the next 1 or 2 days. And if we're taking a look at the price of Solana on the daily time frame, right now as of recording this video, the price of Solana is just about to once again retest. It's pretty much already retesting again this area of resistance, which is also what I've been talking about recently here on the channel. And of course, the area of resistance is still sitting in between 143 to 147. And the reason why I've been predicting these retests over and over again, testing this area of resistance here in the short term over the last 1 week or so, is due to the fact that this bullish divergence is still active on the daily Solana price chart, which means continue to expect either a bit more of a bullish relief or just some choppy sideways price action is the most common outcomes from a bullish divergence. So of course, this is helping with the bullish relief, helping with a little bit more short-term bullish price action, which is basically helping to continue to play out these retests of this area of resistance. And so once again, continue to expect the same price action that I've already been predicting over and over again, which is continued retests of this resistance, and then also a lot of struggle in that area as expected in between 143 to 147. But eventually, if the price keeps pressing up against that resistance and weakening that resistance, if at some point we eventually confirm a breakout above 147 with a daily candle close confirming above that level and holding above that level, in that situation, the next target or next point of resistance to watch out for would be sitting in between around 166 to 170. And if we're taking a look at the price of XRP on the weekly time frame, right now over the last one day, this chart has not really changed all that much. Technically, we still have a massive bearish divergence to watch out for. We also have a lot of support at around $1.80. So once again, not a lot has changed on this weekly XRP price chart over the last one day. And if we're zooming into the daily time frame, we can see that right now the price of XRP is continuing to be supported by this exact level of support that I've been talking about now on the channel, sitting in between around $2 to $2.05, but specifically that $2.05 level is the key support to watch out for, which we've been running into over the last couple of days, and so far holding that as support. And so basically continue to expect a lack in bullish momentum, in other words, weakness for the price of XRP. But for now, while we're running into that support, that is preventing further bearish price action, which means maybe over the next 1 or 2 days, it's quite likely, especially if Bitcoin sees a bit more of a bounce here, it's quite likely that XRP will either start maybe a slight little bounce or just some sideways price action, basically holding this support but still not really showing a significant amount of bullish momentum, at least in the next couple of days. That's my expectation moving forward. And if we're taking a look at the price of Chainlink on the daily time frame, I expect something similar for Chainlink over the next couple of days, maybe a slight little bullish relief thanks to this bullish divergence still being active, still in play on the daily Chainlink price chart. So once again, either a slight little bullish relief or maybe just some more sideways price action is ultimately what I predict moving forward over the next couple of days is a very likely scenario. But while we're trying to play out a little bit of a bullish relief in the immediate short term here, we are running into this point of resistance based on previous support and also previous resistance, now once again acting as resistance in between $13.30 to $13.50. So once again, expect resistance in that area, and if we break out above that area, expect more resistance at around $14.10 and also more resistance in between around $14.70 to $15. And as for support, continue to expect support at around $12.80 give or take, and massive support at pretty much exactly $12 at these lows right here if the price were to actually get back down there. But once again, just in the next 1 or 2 days is a very likely scenario. I expect either just a slight little bullish relief or some choppy sideways price action. And once again, pay attention to what Bitcoin is doing. If Bitcoin continues another bullish relief up towards 94,000 in the coming days here, then we could likely see a slight bullish move for a lot of these altcoins. And once again, if you want to trade these moves in the price of any crypto or get set up ready to go to take the next trading opportunity, get set up ready to go using those links below this video to those exchanges if you want to claim the massive bonuses that are available using those links below the video. And of course, if you want to know how you can take these sort of trading opportunities no matter what direction the price goes here, then make sure to watch these videos popping up right here on your screen. The video in the top left shows you how you can profit from bullish or bearish price action using long positions or short positions, and the video in the bottom left shows you how you can easily profit from choppy sideways price action. But anyway, that is everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.